Well, Debbie Sullivan, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Harry. It's nice to meet you.
We're in kind of an unusual location for an interview like this. We're in a school gym, clearly, and which helps with the need to be distant from one another for COVID. But there are other reasons to be here in this school. Can you explain why?
Well, this school is named after my son, Christopher. It's the Chris Saunders Memorial Elementary. It's a pretty special place.
What's it like for you coming here and seeing his name across the front of the building?
It's surreal, is the only word. They live each and every day at the school by the Chris Code. The Chris Code is the name Chris as an acronym, and C stands for caring, H for honesty, R for respect, I for inclusion, and S for safety.
What do you think Chris would think of that?
Well, he'd be floored and he'd be honored, but he'd be shy about it probably. He's like his mother. We're not used to being in the limelight, but he would be pleased because Chris loved kids, and especially the little ones. He always gravitated towards the shy and the quiet ones and befriended them and helped them get by, yeah.
Where do you think that came from?
I'm hoping from me, because it's something that I taught him about being kind and compassionate and understanding and always helping out those less fortunate than himself. So I'm hoping I had something to do with it, but he had a pretty determined mind. When he set his mind to something, he usually carried it through.
Well, when he set his mind to the military, how surprised were you by that?
I wasn't surprised when he told me that he was going to join the reserves, because he is also a daredevil, and he liked an adventure. And he's actually the one that inspired me to join the military, and I did. So.
You joined after Chris?
After Chris, that's right.
Why?
Because I also wanted an adventure. I wanted to try something different, yeah.
Tell me what you said to him, or what you thought when he came to you to say, Mom, I'm going to join the military.
I said, good for you, son.
Yeah.
I said, but you do know you're going to have to take orders. Because he didn't take them from his mom very well sometimes. But he said, yeah, I know.
So that's what you said. What did he say when you told him you were going to join? Oh, no. Don't embarrass me.
Don't embarrass me. Yeah, that's what he said. Don't embarrass me.
Here is Peter Mansbridge.
Good evening. An emergency in the North Atlantic has turned into a tragedy. A Canadian sailor has died after a fire on board one of the country's newly acquired submarines. Today, it cost Lieutenant Chris Saunders his life.
From what I've been told, he immediately took charge and gave whatever orders needed to be given, and was rushing back to his station when he collapsed. So that's where he was heading. In the dark, he couldn't find the port to put his breathing apparatus into, and the smoke and gases overtook him and he passed out. So, and that's where they found him.
When you heard that there had been the accident on the Chicoutimi, you did see subsequent news coverage.
I did. I wish I hadn't watched, but I was drawn to it. I had to see it.
A battered boat in a brutal sea. This was HMCS Chicoutimi today.
The damage caused by the fire was more extensive than first thought.
And what did you see? What?
The biggest controversy that was going on immediately following, was why Christopher wasn't evacuated off the submarine right away. And all I could see was the news footage of that submarine in the high seas just going back and forth in the water. And all I could think of was, how could they possibly evacuate anyone off in those conditions? So they did get him evacuated off, along with some of his crewmates that were injured, as quickly as they possibly could. But I also know, because of the coroner's report, that it wouldn't have mattered if Christopher had been evacuated off within minutes, it wouldn't have mattered. The damage was already done, and he would not have survived no matter. I wasn't angry. I wasn't angry. I went to the inquiry. I was there. I got the details, and I'm satisfied with their findings. It was just a very tragic accident.
You have 2 grandchildren, Chris's sons.
Mm-hmm.
Do you talk to them about their father and
On occasion, the boys know all about their dad. Luke didn't get to meet, well, he met his dad, of course, but he was a newborn infant, so I'm sure he doesn't remember him, but I'm pretty sure Ben does remember him. So, and believe me, they know who their daddy is, yeah. At first, the first few years, it was hard to look at Ben because he looked so much like Chris. Yeah, handsome dude. Both the boys are handsome boys, yeah.
So what will you be thinking on Remembrance Day as you carry that wreath to the
Well, my
cenotaph?
first thought will be of my son, and I will also be thinking of all the other families who had lost their loved ones. I'll be thinking of all the veterans, and because of COVID, I'm really not sure exactly how things are going to work. I know that it will be different, and I may not get to meet some of the veterans who are still alive, but I hope I do, because I just want to thank them. Yeah, thank them all for their service.
Well, you've been very courageous and very kind in speaking to us and in
Thank
sharing
you.
Chris's life with us
Thank
today.
you.
I want to thank you very much for that.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity.